Morning.
I'm
Good to see
good. I've
after.
enjoyed it. The weather's great. And number one, man, it's great to see you.
Likewise, thank you.
It is.
Thank you. It's been like how many? 20 years or 15 years, 16,
I don't,
17 years?
I don't know if I want to think about that. I still have a vision of you and my buddy Steve and I in Istanbul.
Istanbul.
We're at a restaurant, and man, you were just it was one of the coolest conversations I've ever had. You were opening up about your background and some of your personal history and where you're from. And
Yeah.
I was just like eating great food and soaking it in.
Right.
It was great. I could see it like it was yesterday, but it
Yeah.
wasn't yesterday. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while, but it was amazing experience, knowing you and then
For sure.
two far parts of the world and then we find a common friend in New
Uh-oh, you
York.
there?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we got to freeze.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there, he's back. He's back.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, I was saying that, two far parts of the world, and then we find a common friend in New York.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's crazy
Crazy,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, when he mentioned to me that like he knew who you were or he discovered you or something like that, or I mentioned it, I don't know, and he knew who
Right.
you were.
Right.
It was mind blowing. I was like the
Yes.
world is small, you
It's
know?
small. Yes, it
Yeah,
is. I met, remember one of those girls that we, who was staying at the same hostel. And so that girl went to Thailand. And then I had met someone in Singapore. They went to a couple in Singapore, an American couple in Singapore, and they went to Thailand and they met her, and then they saw this common friend, and they say, "Do you know this guy? This
wow.
crazy Pakistani."
So if that happens a third time, man, it's going to be officially weird. Like
It is, it is. So how did you know Shamrez? I mean, it's
we
off the
worked.
topic, but let's keep.
Yeah, we worked together at the same
Oh,
place
okay,
for a
yes,
while
that's right. Yeah.
in upstate New York.
I
So
remember you told me.
that's how I met him.
Yes,
He's
yes,
a cool guy, really
yes.
cool
He
guy.
is. Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Oh shoot, you're frozen again. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
there now you're back. Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Technology.
Podcast as well. Okay, so tell me, how have you been? How is everything? And yeah. Uh,
Man, I could fill 3 hours with that
okay,
one.
got it, got it. Okay, so
Some areas of my life,
yeah.
if I was to compartmentalize, however you say that word, some
Okay,
are great. I
okay,
mean, I feel really blessed,
okay, that's great.
whether it's family, travel, friends, whatever.
Yes, yes.
Some areas of my life,
Oh, well, that's the beauty of life, that you have to pivot.
yeah, and I got to be honest, I don't know about you, man, but the older I get,
Yeah.
which is not a journey I relish,
Uh-huh.
but I have learned some things,
Right.
and the minute I learned that crap just happens in life and you have to accept it,
Of course,
I've
yes.
been happier.
Yes, of course.
You
Yes.
know, there was a time in my life where I tried so hard to make sure every area of my life
Right.
was happy,
Right.
and you just go crazy trying to do
That's right.
that.
That's
And when
right.
you just accept it,
Yes, yes, of course.
I've
I
been
mean,
happier. Yeah.
that's how especially I don't know, but I it's all about attention. It's all about connecting what you are looking for, and then universe answers in the same way.
He's got him.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. So universe responds in the same way. When we are trying to control, if we are trying to premeditate or we're trying to orchestrate, then things go off, like you said. And I guess that the universe also has an algorithm working.
Hmm. Now there's another interesting conversation.
Yeah.
By the way, total side note, I love that you got the Northern Lights behind me because
Right.
I
Yes.
actually got to see those in Alaska once, and it was
Wow. I want to see that. I want to see that.
you should, man,
Yeah,
if you ever get a
there
chance, get up
there
there.
were there were a couple of them in New York as well, back 4 5 months back. But I couldn't. I saw a little bit of glimpse, but I couldn't properly. I was in Arizona as well, and I missed there as well. I was in Nordic countries as well. I missed there as well. So, but
Man,
yeah, someday definitely.
yeah.
So tell me, you are a multi-talented, multifaceted person, music and technology and faith and somehow and travel. and
Right.
somehow attention has cultivated in a new way or form in our lives, especially with the advent of social media. And around when we met back in 2010, this craze was still brewing,
Oh,
and
sure.
and that's how that weirdness of me finding common friends, all over the world happened. So that's the blessed part of it. But tell me, what has your experience been since you have a close observation of how technology evolves and impacts different aspects of our lives.
Man, first of all, I spend way too much time deep thinking as it is, but I've definitely mulled this over a few times. Number one, I don't know about you, but I feel very blessed that I grew up in quite arguably the last era of human history where technology just took over every aspect of our lives. I am so thankful
Yeah.
that I had that childhood. Yeah, there was tech there. I tried to sneak video games in, a little extra hour. My parents weren't watching. I did that when I was a kid,
VHS.
you know. But I'm so glad that I grew up in an era where it hadn't permeated everything.
Mhm.
And I think you're frozen again.
On my side, you are frozen.
Oh, there you're back. I hear you.
We'll continue because on my side you are freezing, on your side I am freezing. Something is happening, but
Okay,
it's
we'll just keep rolling.
yeah, we keep rolling. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad I grew up with in that last era.
Mhm.
That said, I'm excited about a lot of what's coming,
Mhm.
but there's a lot about it that I think whether we're just simply talking about the attention span of a human being, all the way up to who's controlling all this new technological AI power and all that, there's some things that concern me. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it,
Mhm.
but I think the world's going to look a lot different in 2035.
Mhm.
A lot.
That's right.
I'll be blown away. I will be blown. I'll take you out to dinner in Istanbul in
Yes.
2035
Sure.
if the world is still similar to now, only a few changes,
Sure.
but it's going to be massive, I think. And
Yes.
how we handle that as a society, as culture, as people, that's huge.
That's huge, and that's where the reactionary and responding aspect comes in, because I have seen you, monitoring and feeling the impact of technology. However, I have also felt that you don't let it take over your attention, or you don't let it impact you or affect you negatively, which is a great achievement in its own, because we feel overwhelmed. And I think for that, the aspects of where you have traveled a lot, and being the man of faith, and also understanding the intricacies of technology, not in terms of technical side, but how it affects our lives and livelihoods as well. You have a very close look at it, and I have felt, for example, for the last 6 years, I'm requesting you to have a WhatsApp, and you don't want to have a WhatsApp. And your life is unaffected,
You're
ultimately, I
totally
have,
not the first person to say
yes,
that to me. Like
yes,
it's
I have to ultimately, send you a Google Drive link, so it's amazing. And So tell me, in context of music, how has it affected your music in terms of traction, in terms of exposure?
interesting that you bring that up because just a month ago,
Mhm.
um, a friend of mine posted something on Facebook and he said he made the song and I clicked on it. I was like, dude, when did you get in a studio and lay all this down? Like this sounds great.
Mhm.
And man, he hits me back. He's like, I made this with AI.
Right?
And I
Yeah.
was like, because I had dabbled with Suno
Mhm.
maybe about a year ago, and it stunk. It
Right.
was very cheesy. It was not great. And he's like, this is what I'm using. And man, I dove in and
Mhm.
I banged out a couple songs just using lyrics that I'd written and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I got to be honest, even though you and I grew up in that era where we made your own music, right? You went in there, you tracked everything. There's part of it that's very appealing.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, if over the next year, which I will not be surprised if this happens, if the next year or so, you can actually sit in your bedroom,
Mhm.
plug in your mic,
Mhm.
and play your riff
Mhm.
into Suno
Mhm.
and create a song that way without going to a producer and getting a studio and all that stuff. If that's coming,
Yes.
oh man, like that sounds amazing to me. But
So,
there's also a downside to it.
yeah.
Because from what I hear, man, I don't know if you've heard this, but I hear that people are just pumping out
Mhm.
AI songs and putting them on Spotify, and it's just blowing up the whole. And you don't even know if you're listening to a real person anymore.
That's
So
right.
again, the good and the bad go together, you
Together.
know?
But the music, like for example, I think I told you I was recently in Austin, and it's the live music capital of the world. The problem with this AI music is, for example, I let me backtrack a little bit. When Suno was invented, I saw this technology, I think around 2018 or something, during my Google course of UX design. And then I thought, instead of this cheesy thing, why not mix up symphonies of Beethoven or Mozart and create something new, because they are gone. Or make it maybe Miles Davis, just put in something and create something. But and that's happening, number one. Number two is that the problem with all this is that soon all these Spotify and Apple Music, what are they, and YouTube, what they're going to do is they've already started it, and they're going to ask you if this was generated by AI. And if there is AI generation, then there will be no royalties.
Mm,
Yeah? That, and or there'll be less royalties. Number one. Number two, you need machine to play that. You can't play it.
right.
Beauty of music is playing. Playing the
Yeah,
guitar, playing the piano, and singing live. So you can generate whatever, all the world's music, and make Michael Jackson and AC/DC create a new song for you, or Metallica or Prince create a new song for you. But at the end of the day, it's not real. And it's like for example, there was this scary movie franchise. So it was a spoof on horror movies, but people
sure.
horror movies exist, is still exist, and will be till the end of time.
Yeah.
And with regards to what you said, in 2035 we are probably going to be doing our bucket list, traveling around the world, and meeting again in Istanbul. But
I hope so.
yeah, but I think by then, an immortal pill, or a chip or something would be invented for durable life, or 100 plus years or whatever, because they're already working on it. And with AI, the transfusion of plasma, and people like Brian Johnson and Elon Musk and all these people, they are full throttle, planning to either live forever, or at least go into outer space.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then again, it is all about traction, and space tourism is also, by I think by then it will be more common. Now we see Katy Perry on and all these people, in the space. And what I'm saying is that things are moving. Again, it's like a tool, it's like money, it's tool. You can use it for gratification, or you can use it for promoting your agenda. And but at the end of the day, uh, it may sound good, because there was already electronic music a lot. All these DJs, and I went to David Guetta over here. He was here in Brooklyn at the Mirage, and he was great. But I've been into Iron Maidens and White Snakes, and like I told you, Rage Against the Machine. His singer always reminds me of you, and
Wow.
and remember you had the same hairstyle as well when
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but again, what I'm saying is that he was just, he had this DJ controllers and lots of equipment. But and what I was coming to was that I had been to most heaviest concerts in the world, but there was a mosh pit and people used to enjoy, whatever, physical activity over there. But the hooliganism that saw in a supposedly electronic music show was beyond my wildest imagination.
Hmm.
I mean, I was anticipating that crowd would be of dance party and stuff like that. They were like rogue, and I had to call security couple of times, and so what I'm trying to say
Wow.
is that things are again, as a tool they are coming. But what I'm saying is that you can, it's good to enjoy, but once you will feel that this is not, like you mentioned in your first point, that it's not done by music, or is it's done by a machine which does not have a soul. And
Sure.
because music is about, someone playing and someone receiving, embracing it.
Yeah.
uh, and just because before you, I was doing another podcast with an organ donor for my app Life Immortal, and he was also coincidentally a musician and a producer, a record label owner. And so he was talking about the same, that the industry has reinvented sort of, on its own. And but he said, I live on 27 acres, and we can have a show over here, and you visit me, and we can have you can have a retreat and things like that. So tell me about the faith side of things. Has it changed in context of propagation, in context of traction, in context of spreading the message of God?
Oh, great question. Side note though, going back to the increase in technology
Mhm.
and all that stuff, if by 2035 they haven't found a cure for baldness yet, I'm going to be very grumpy because we can enhance all these other areas of life, but we can't. Because look at you and me, man. Like we still got it,
Yes.
which is a blessing.
Yes.
But you mean that what anything could happen in the next decade, you know? Like they can put a man on Mars, but they can't cure balding. Like, come on, come on. Let's have our priorities straight.
I mean,
All right.
somebody was telling me, I cut my own hair because, I don't trust anyone on anything with regards to, my look, and I do it with my own hands. So, yeah, so I said, the thing is that at this age, hairstyle doesn't matter, hair matter.
Yeah, yeah. But
I mean,
anyway,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
You
yeah,
asked a serious question. I got to
yeah,
go back
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that. I mean,
And beside, no, no, it's not. You have a great point. Before you move ahead, I I want to say that if cancer was as important as dick and pussy, like in AIDS, I think the cure would have been out by now.
hmm, interesting.
Because AI can definitely rectify all these tests and experiments and give you the most optimized solution.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I,
is
I I hope there's a lot of things being cured in the next decade when we
yes,
got AI helping us out with that. You know,
yes,
I would hope that that would happen. You would think the technology would lead us there, not just things for profit. You know,
yes. Yeah,
but
that's the problem. That's the problem because keeping the disease alive is more profitable than curing it.
yeah, man, that's another hour-long podcast right there. 2 hours.
Yes,
I tend to agree with you. Um, Well, as far as technology and faith, I mean, it's been wonderful in the sense that just the other day, man, I had a great conversation with someone who had some questions. It was just like seeking out answers, and so they wanted to pick my brain on, what I believed, and it was over. It's like what we're doing now. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And so I think there's technology if you can get past the human inclination to argue and debate and clickbait and slamming someone, which you see all over the internet and YouTube, people just slamming each other. If you can get past that
Mhm.
and just want to have a conversation with someone, I think the future of technology is great. You'll be able to meet up with people all over the world, and maybe you'll appear in a virtual space, and it'll be like you're there with them, and you can have these dialogues with people. Like the great conversation you and I had in Istanbul
Right.
can happen virtually
In a
all over the
multiverse.
place and more interactive than what
In
we have right now.
in a
Uh,
multiverse.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some that what do you call that the Facebooks and the other multiverse
Yeah, I forget the name of it too,
Vision
but
Pro or
wait,
something like that.
Oculus was that one of them?
Plus
Oculus Rift or
Oculus
something.
and Vision Pro and things like
I've wanted to go to one. Have you seen those big like gyms where they have them all set up and you walk around in it and you play the game? And I've always wanted to do one of those, but
yes, yeah,
haven't.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I think the opportunity to talk about faith and God and those issues is technology just kind of goes hand in hand with that if
Mhm.
you're willing to use it for good and not to score points and to dunk on somebody, and stuff like that. And that's one of the things I love about travel,
Mhm.
is meeting people from all over the world and learning what you can from them. If you have disagreements, you talk it through. You don't just like get in each other's face, and stuff like that. And to me, that's just a bigger picture of what technology can be if we handle it right.
Right.
But knowing human beings like I do,
Yeah.
especially from a faith perspective,
Yes.
some group of people, even if it's only 10% of the human population, is going to come along and try to screw this all up for the rest of us,
That's right.
you know?
That's what happens actually. Like I
But
mentioned.
that's the way it is with every advancement
Yeah. Because
in technology.
yeah, and even in context of faith as well, like you mentioned, that even if there are disagreements, and we don't have to talk about it, like for example, I lost my faith when I studied more and traveled more. You consolidated your faith with travel.
Mm,
But like it's an independent research, and we are all on our own internal journeys. And but definitely, I agree with you in the sense that AI can also help in curation, of different school of thoughts and faiths, because there are multiple sects within each religion, and again, it can help in optimization and rectifying the disagreements, so to say,
yeah.
clarifying things, because at the end of the day, it's about universe responding and manifestation, and this new wave of thinking that has been evolving over the internet and YouTube,
Mm,
especially last 2-3 years. So that's always there. And so tell me about this. You were doing something related to some online courses or something. I can't recall.
yeah. And side note too, when you were just talking, man, I reflected back to one of your more recent podcasts where you're talking to a guy, he's a comedian,
Mhm.
and you got into a little bit of your personal story, your background when it came to walking away from faith and kind of the reactions of some people in your community. Man, that legit tugged on my heartstrings, man. That sounded like it must have been a really tough time. And we obviously don't have to bring that all up now, but
Yeah, yeah. No,
thank
no,
you for
no.
sharing that. I mean, that was very real and raw and
Right.
open. And
No,
it
I
hit me.
actually, yeah, it was great for me because I love, untying uh, emotional liabilities. So, if the thing is, like you mentioned, we can agree to disagree. But if I have to somehow rewire my brain according to somebody's cognitive dissonance, so to say, then it becomes burdensome for me, and it so I feel lighter. I feel much better because it helps me evolve faster, as compared to be in the presence of the or being in the environment where free thinking is suffocated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I got to say on that note, and then I'll get to your question. I keep doing this.
Yes,
I keep
yes, yes,
hopping
yes.
in.
No, no, that's great.
I, I think I think free thinking is the best thing for someone's position or argument, whether it's faith, whether it's science, whether it's politics. If you can't enter into a free thinking environment,
Mm.
and hear critiques for your worldview and they don't stand up,
Mhm.
that's a really bad sign.
Yes.
What's a good sign is when you can take a belief or a thought or idea and enter into criticism
Mhm.
and you leave and it's done. You're like, wow, the building is still standing. It's still there.
That's right.
You know, I took some hits,
That's right.
but it weathered the storm. That strengthens my belief in whatever it is, you know. So I don't like this trend nowadays of people just arguing at each other and no real substantive criticisms and or I don't want to talk to you at all or something like that. That's eesh,
Dave,
that's not good. That's
Dave, the
scary
problem is, the good thing,
in my opinion.
yeah, it's great. It's great.
But
But I agree with you in this context that for me, it's more about curiosity and inquiry. And when it relates to dogmas, same is about the political side of it. The thing is that the end result that both right and left want is to have a, a better, common man, a wealthier common man, more healthier common man. And then along the road, if there are some disagreements, for me, disagreement is the most important thing for growth. Because if two people are agreeing, then one person is useless.
mm,
So, but again, like you mentioned, it has to be based on a constructive side of it, not to just bashing or
yes.
not just to shaming, or blame storming, so to say, which has become, a customary, and which is the reason that the recent election result was a shocker to the perception rather than reality.
There he is. Okay. I didn't catch your final point, but I'm
Yeah,
sure I
what I'm
agree with
saying is that that is the reason that the latest election result was a shocker to perception and not to reality.
you. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Again, another podcast right there.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, I work for online tech instructor extraordinaire Rick Creasy.
Okay.
He's big on Udemy.
Okay.
His forte is VMware and AWS and networking and things like that. And so he got to the point where his online business was so successful that he was able to bring on an employee, and that was this guy.
Mhm.
So I'm basically his assistant.
Okay.
So the different things that he needs done, and probably because I've known him since the 80s, and that gives away my age a little bit. Um, he just kind of let me work online, and so because we're friends, I remember when he hired me, I was like, "So I'm working online, so that could be from anywhere."
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "France?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." So I was like, "Woo!" So that was music to my ears. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years over that, and it's been great.
I mean, when we met in Istanbul, I was working on Upwork then as well, and you and I had a discussion. How can we make $1,000 a day? But the discussion is still alive, and but it's amazing. I was watching this Tiffany Haddish, she's special, and she said, YouTube is my teacher, and I from there on, I found these Coursera courses and Google courses and Harvard and Stanford courses, and they also gave me a new lifeline into my because I was a creative director before in advertising, and because of internet and Amazon, the that that model was fading slowly, and I just around 2012 I moved in at the right time, and now keep sharing with you the apps that I make, and
Yeah,
that's also thanks to online courses.
that's pretty cool. I've been thinking about taking a couple myself
Yeah.
because I I don't know, man. I think this is, and again, I could be totally wrong, and we could be talking about this 10 years from now, and I'll be like, wow, I was really wrong. But I feel like we're at the fork in the road
Yes.
where AI is coming in
Mhm.
and the window is closing.
Mhm.
'Cause I have a friend, I won't give his name, 'cause I don't know if he wants to be named in this conversation, but
Yeah.
he makes a lot of money and he's involved in AI and he rubs shoulders with some people in the biz. And he told me there's a window closing right now to be one of those human beings that gets in there that could still be gainfully employed as AI starts taking the bottom level jobs and starts working its way up.
Right.
And it sounds like a sci-fi movie, right?
Right.
But I'm trying to learn as much about AI and how it's going to affect our lives and what jobs can still be around 10 years from now.
Mhm.
So I can hopefully be one of those humans that sneaks through the window
Right.
and doesn't wind up strictly living off a UBI or something like that. It's
Right.
so it's even as I say those words,
Mhm.
it sounds like a sci-fi movie from the 80s that I
Right.
watched as
That
a
is true.
kid.
That's
But
true.
I do think it's a real possibility that if you don't educate yourself now on the technology of the future,
Mhm.
more than ever before in human history, you're going to be
Right.
left behind, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
which
So
is wild
yeah, but
to think about.
I think you'll be good. You'll be okay because over the years, what I have
Oh,
felt felt from your side is
I
that
heard something.
yeah, I'm saying that after even if AI is everywhere, what I have felt in you is that you take everything with a grain of salt, and then you just don't open your doors to anything, but you are a quick adapter as well. So technology is nothing new for you, and even if you don't install WhatsApp, you are still ahead of the curve. You That's what I'm saying. You don't let it affect you. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there is this guy who works remotely and makes online courses, and he doesn't have a WhatsApp. Isn't it just a miracle in its own?
It's weird because on one hand, I love technology,
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
but on the other hand, I'm very stubborn. It's like you will only have so
You
much of
are.
my life, and I already have a messaging app, so
No,
I don't need any more. And
you are.
sometimes maybe I'm too stubborn, but
Yes.
it's paid off a lot in my life too.
Yeah.
It's so
That's your superpower because
yeah, it is what it is.
sometimes I feel that you are more skeptical than me, at least in religious. I mean, the way I am skeptical towards religion, you are more skeptical towards technology, but
Well,
you just let the right thing in. You just filter out the useless stuff.
the real test will be one day when I'm at the coffee house and a beautiful woman sits down next to me and says, "Hey, I want to meet here next week, but can you hit me up on WhatsApp?" Um, eh, that'll be the real test, man. That'll be the real test. If I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, no WhatsApp, but I'll give you my number, but
But that will be the test of character, not the technology.
right. Well, hopefully it happens. We'll find out. I'll let you know. It's a
Yeah, because by then, there'll be other Tinders and other Hinges and other, Bumbles and all those.
right. Ugh.
Yeah. So I recently discovered some friend of mine during a comedy show. He told me that there is this app called Breeze in which all you have to do is just match and pay for the drinks, and they will arrange a place for you, the restaurant where you're going to go for the date, and the person, and what time, what day, what date. You got to do
Wow.
no small talk involved.
You said it was called Breeze?
Breeze. Yes.
So is it out of development? It's actually out there. You can download it.
Available, yeah, you can download it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so people who are, self-critical, or, are critical about technology and take everything with a grain of salt, such as you, there is no small talk involved, just to the point. Time, place, number of drinks, and that's it. And the
You
technology
know,
is,
I'm personally hoping that technology hasn't killed speed dating. Did you ever go speed dating? Have you ever?
yeah, yeah.
Is that still a thing? Does that happen?
It is, and is very much into fashion, and sometimes it's called hot date. But
No.
yeah, the name has changed, but yeah, it's there. I mean, I'm not using I haven't tried it, but and it's also in some circles, it's also used in a little more promiscuous way, which
Oh, I'm sure.
we're going to discuss after the podcast. But yeah,
I can only imagine.
yeah, yes. So technology, everything is out there. Whatever your orientation is, there is plenty.
Something wild and crazy, I'm sure.
There is plenty of fish, which is again the name of a gay dating app. We have like 5 minutes left, and do you tell me? Because the thing is, like I said, you keep a view on the long-term effects of technology and how it evolves. And so, what do you think that because I think in terms of law as well. Right now, we can really use avail AI in law. And although at the same time, I also believe that AI itself should be regulated, and because it's just a glorified form of automation, and you can create your own algorithms in whatever way you want the users to behave, which is again, like Elon Musk said, ghost in the machine. And so Elon Musk or the police, ghost in the machine. So what do you think that should be
Oh, shoot.
the the course of adoption, or we should make it easy for everyone.
Say that question again.
Yes. So, what do you think should be the course of the course that AI should, pursue in order to make it win-win for everyone?
Uh, Man, I think AI should be always available to the little guy. Yeah, if you see big companies swallowing it up, and right now there's these companies, and then 10 years from now it's only a couple, and then it's two. That's bad news for everybody.
Yes,
I think it should be free and available for everybody should have a free version. I would think. Although I still, when I say that, I feel weird telling the company what to do. Like ChatGPT or OpenAI, you should always have a free version, and whatever. So I always hope it's accessible
hmm
to the person in New York City or the person in Nairobi or the person in Jakarta. Like everyone should be able to, because you can learn from it. It'll really help your life. It's great. But at the same time, to get a little philosophical,
hmm
remember that amazing movie Inception?
Yes, that's right.
Remember how Leo, I forget his character's name, but he had that little top
That's
he
right.
would spin
Yes.
to all humans out there over the next decade, all humans who hear this podcast, make sure you got something
Right.
that pulls you out of the tech that's going to increasingly try to take over your whole life, your mind, your soul, your body. Make sure you have something to spin to say, and it may sound crazy now,
Mhm.
where you literally have to say to yourself, was that reality that I just saw
That's right.
on my screen? Or because I've spent so much time in here, what the worlds are melding together. Make sure you have something that you can look at and say, all right, that's real. I can withdraw. I could get out in the woods. I could go for a hike.
That's right.
I can unplug from all this stuff, but
Right.
don't let yourself get so caught up in
That's
the
right.
machines where you
Yeah.
can't pull back out and be a human again,
That's
the way we have been for all of existence until now. You know what I mean? If we lose that, I got a bad feeling, man. That ain't good.
right.
You know.
That's right.
So yes, on one hand, I hope even the poorest of the poor of the world have access to AI
Mhm.
moving forward to help them not be poor anymore. But
Right.
at the same time, let's not lose our humanity
Right.
in all these technologies that are super cool, but a little creepy sometimes.
Yeah,
You know.
because the attention span has, the circle of attention has gone to a level where now we have started doubting our own reality. There are scientists who are saying that's all a simulation,
Ugh, yeah.
and that is all about the consciousness, and consciousness is directly attached to attention, because whatever you were watching yesterday is in your subconscious, and that's driving you forward in terms of your choices. And so definitely it's a way where it could be a tool of learning, and again, when you mentioned that the common man, the or it should be free at grassroots level, then some dispute that it becomes a mode of controlling as well, and some call it a digital slavery as well, so
Mm.
yeah, but it's evolving. Let's see how it maneuvers with the test of time. And it's great catching up with you. And
Yeah, man.
thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you after 15 years.
Likewise. I
And
had like three belly laughs, dude. That was great. Like I feel so good right now. Like I really laughed and I threw my head back and yeah, it was great. So thank you for that. That
so
was
do
great.
stay in touch. And although you don't have WhatsApp, we will find a new way to video chat.
We'll make a way. We'll do it.
It was great catching
Yeah,
up with
man.
you.
For
And
sure.